Hi, welcome back to R-Rated Talks. I'm Inara and we started season 1 with male self-care. However, it's time that I bring back my comrades in girl math, my Swifties, to come and talk around female self-care. Growing up, my self-care was going down to play with my friends, and then it went to going out clubbing and dancing the night away. And now it's more about my mental peace, running the company, doing well with that, and even keeping in track with my fitness and healthcare. Every girl has a different story about how they take care of themselves, whether it's just yakking to their boyfriends or even doing a skincare routine on Sundays or just binging Emily in Paris. But the thing is that self-care keeps growing and evolutionizing over time. So it was necessary to bring in the women and talk about the complexities of female self-care and how that's evolving over time and how it is now today. So yeah, let's begin. Welcome to R-Rated Talks. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Xenia. I'm a fashion stylist and creative director.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, I'm Ria and also Inara's favorite person in the world. I'm a doctor and that's why it makes so much sense for me to be talking here about skincare considering the fact that I haven't seen the sun in a year and a half. So yeah, I can't wait to chat and tell everyone to do things I don't do myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think self-care is and how do you define it for yourself?
Self-care to me is sports. I enjoy playing around. I enjoy to relax my body. When I'm having a stressful day, I just come home, I just do some sports and I'm so relaxed, and that's what self-care is.
What kind of sports like are your favorite?
Long tennis and
Miss Zendaya, okay. And
pickleball.
Newly found pickleball expert.
Pickleball.
okay.
Yeah, how could you forget?
Okay. And what's your how do you define self-care?
So, in general, what a lot of people don't understand is that when you talk about health, everyone thinks of physical health, and that's what everyone assumes, that even doctors or that's what the definition of health is. But from the start, health has always been, the definition has included different aspects: mental health, socioeconomic health, social health. Everything comes under health, and so that's why when people talk about self-care now, they talk about all these aspects, but they've always been there.
Okay.
And even for my personal health, obviously, and my self-care has always just been anything health related. And yeah, from the smallest thing, just talking to my mom, having a nice cup of chai, studying, hanging out, and everything counts as self-care.
Self-care. So when you say that, like, you know, it's always been there, what do you mean? Like, you only learned this by being a doctor, or why is it not like prevalently known that health is all of this and not just like physical health?
So I think that's just the social. There's a lot of social stigma around, especially mental health, and everything just boils down to physical health at the end of the day. If someone says that they are sick, then you're like, okay, go take a day off, stay at home. If you're not having a mentally, you're not having a good day.
Because it's more visible.
Yeah, it's visible. You can see it. The treatment is like quite immediate. You can just give a medicine and it's over.
Yeah. Considering that we're having this podcast around female self-care, there's certain things that are commonality to everyone, but then there's a difference between how male and female take care of themselves. So what do you think about it, and what are your opinions around the difference between mental health for men, women, and how we take care of ourselves?
So just mental health?
Mental health, self-care, everything around it.
Yeah, men, all aspects, they need to up their game of self-care. Every single aspect.
Okay.
God, skincare, please. Please do something. God, if I have to hear one more man not know what SPF is.
No, but some of them are at least trying, you know.
Yeah, I can appreciate, but you know what? I'm not going to appreciate someone for doing the bare minimum.
Okay.
That's it.
Yes.
We're over that. No.
No, I think they're only learning because of their girlfriends for sure.
Yeah.
The girls teach them.
Yeah.
You have trash skin, let's make it better.
for
Okay.
sure. And I have zero tolerance now for boys who are like, oh, I don't know what this is. Oh, moisturizer, what could that be? Bro, stop it. Like, you're embarrassing yourself now for all of this. Lipstick, what do you do with lipstick? Shut up, man.
Okay.
Okay,
So this is
done.
this was a question, like, you know, in our first episode where the boys asked, like, okay, if you meet a guy and you see them, does it, like, do you know whether they've done good skincare or they have not, and does it really matter, or like it puts you off if they don't?
Oh, not at all. You can't
Puts
tell.
me off for sure. though. I mean, you can see when someone's not groomed their beard or like they're not taking care of themselves. They're like they just come like, you know, just
Uh-huh.
however.
Okay.
That thing bothers me.
Yeah, grooming is important for sure, but a thing I've noticed about a lot of men is that they can have flawless skin without doing anything.
Anything, yeah.
So I hope they age poorly.
Okay.
I hope all of them age terribly.
Okay.
I mean, medically, I hope you all do well. But
Yeah, fair.
in my heart,
Looks wise.
if I am doing so much for this skin,
Yeah.
how can you, Yash Kapoor, who washes his face with that sabun hand soap, how can he look that perfect?
Okay,
I'm
fine.
angry and upset.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so that's like the skincare part of it. What do you think about the other aspect of self-care? As you mentioned, health is about physical health, it's about socioeconomic status, it is about mental health as well. Do you think there's a difference between men and women around that theme?
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of men, for them, self-care involves just being rich, getting
Okay.
money, work, and they're like, for
Getting
women,
ripped
yeah,
in
getting
the gym.
Uh-huh.
I guess yeah, for women also there's a little
It's- yeah, it's
physical
true.
aspect, but yeah, for women they also, I feel like the physical aspect is a lot more important than for men. I
Okay.
feel like a man could compensate, he would himself. I mean, I don't know, I can't speak for men, but a lot of them, from what I've heard, they feel like if as long as they're doing well in life, they're okay with not being the most beautiful,
Attractive
most
person.
attractive person, yeah. But for women, no matter what state, level you're at, I feel like a woman wants to look good.
It's a key component.
Still.
So the way you look, it does take a toll on women more so than men, at least
Yeah,
in
and they're
terms
judged
of
a lot more for
they're
it.
judged a lot more for it, and there's a lot of other things around it that men can at least be better at, but women. So if a woman is earning a lot versus a man is earning a lot, but if she's not as conventionally good looking, she still won't get someone. But if a man is not conventionally good looking, he still might get someone because there's the element
there
of
was
that.
there was recently that girl who did really well, I think in her 12th.
Correct.
board, yeah.
Yeah.
And she got so much shit for
the
having
way she
acne
looked.
or for
And facial hair, I
and
remember,
it's-
yeah.
What are you saying? If a
She's a topper.
yeah, if a boy did not look good, okay,
He's a topper,
Yeah, he's
like,
a
doesn't
topper, he's
matter.
smart.
Yeah.
Or no, why are people talk? No one's spoken to them. I'm sure the other guys had acne. The 12th toppers, they must have had acne,
Yeah.
facial hair.
Probably
black.
didn't even shower before going to the exam.
I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they showered.
Okay. Miss Man Hater, please. But okay. So growing up, around at least the self-care and the skincare part of what we did was like, you know, the champi in the hair, be chotli lene, like to go to school. At least for me, my mother used to put like the turmeric paste all over my body and like just go at it to get like rid of the hair or just whatever is there. But now that we think about it, all of these things are becoming good in the Western society, and like older people are doing it where they're like, oh, amla, like it's so good for my hair, let's put it, even if it stinks, you know, and it smells. But Indian remedies are now popping up. So what do you think around, like, did you ever feel like this was doing good to you when you were a child? And do you still continue doing any of these now and have a different appreciation for it?
I do chumpies. Chumpies are like, oh my god. As a kid, I was like, ew, oil, mom, stop. Oh, dude, just oil me up. Oh, dude, getting your head pressed, what a life. All of it. Anyone doing anything for me now. It's like, what a life. Tamarind, anything, just put it on.
Put it on your body.
Give you, I was so annoying. Why did I not let anyone do
No,
this?
I think it's because like when we were in school, like when you go with oily hair, and you smell weird, people make fun of you, and you don't want to be part of that
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
group, you know.
Uh-huh.
As known as that. Well, I didn't. Well, when I used to study here in India.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
But when
When
I used to study back
in Congo,
home,
yeah, what would
back home, if I would go with, like, I knew some Indians that did go with oily hair and they smell weird. They used to make so much fun of them, and I was just like, I cannot be part of this. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
so the so basically the social stigma didn't make you appreciate it, and now you're just like, let's get all of it in. Like, I really
Yeah.
don't care.
Now,
because-
like,
I mean,
now all the girls we're all coming together with our different onion hair oil and my gals with all the
even
different.
hair was a problem while growing, like waxing. Like, even if you have a bit of hair, they would call you out for it.
For
in
it, yeah.
school. Like, oh my god, that's so disgusting.
Yeah, what was that about? Why were 15-year-olds
you
like?
have hair everywhere.
Yeah.
it's okay. Yeah.
Sorry, auntie,
I don't know.
uncle.
just like beep it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, and then now I don't really even care about my body hair. I'm like, I'm just gonna let it grow. And my mom cares about it a lot because she's like, oh, you need to look good in front of everyone. But I'm like, I really don't care about that. You know, it's about me and how I feel good. If
Yeah.
I don't want to wax, I will not wax. If I don't want to put turmeric on my face or my skin because I like to get tanned and you don't like that,
Yes.
I'm not gonna listen to you. You know.
I think that's so important, at least the outlook of our moms, because for me, my ailing part is that when I get eczema and I itch myself, my skin gets dark around those areas. So my mom will be like, put something on it, like, you know, you need to get it lighter back. But I'm so like hesitant to put anything that's going to harm it, even if it's for reducing the dark areas, that I always say no, no, no. And then one of the comments that she said was, you're not even married yet, you know, like you need to like keep your skin well and everything. And I was like, how does that matter? Like, if a man is gonna see and be with me, it shouldn't be about like that per se, you know, it should just be around that. So even there, I think the ideas of what our moms feel, what we should look like is quite heavily put onto us, I think, still.
But I think that it's like, even to cancel your mothers there, it's like,
not, yeah.
you know, at the bottom of it, they're just trying to like find your man or
Yeah.
whatever. It's like,
trying
okay,
to secure you someone
like,
good.
thank you for like insulting me all my life, mom, for my good. But what are you even going to say? Hey, mom, 60-year-old mom, you're cancelled. How am I gonna?
Fair enough. I mean,
Or like your dadi, what are you going to say?
you're not gonna say it.
Dadi, girl, you can't be chatting like that.
Yeah, that's
Introduce
true.
her to this concept.
That's true, but then I think now it's more about the way Zina said that I'm not going to listen to you, especially if you have your moral standards of what you feel is right. I think we've come to a point there.
But this is also from where living in Bombay,
Yeah.
different social structures in our families and stuff. Where
That's true,
it's
but
still
some
more matriarchal households and stuff. So we can always say things like this. But for a lot of people, they still live in very patriarchal
societies and
households,
things
yeah.
like that. So, I mean, leaning into those points as well, there is a certain world of like intimate areas and products that are developed for that, and even just like the way we take care of ourselves during periods. I mean, we've all seen that Akshay Kumar ad where they talk about kapda being used in villages
Yeah.
and then no, buy a pad, like, you know, foo-foo
Yeah,
mat karo,
yeah.
whatever that is. But then now that is a part of a socioeconomic status. Like, we have learned different things, but then there's so much being, you know, put out there around this kind of self-care or skincare area. Like, what do you think about that? I mean, people are saying different things. So do you have specific period or self-care routines or tips, or how you've evolved with it? How has it been?
For your period does whatever it wants.
Okay.
There is whatever you do, it ain't listening. It doesn't matter. So I've given up.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I'm a fertile woman, I think. So
Okay,
if the
then-
hormones are there, something's gonna happen. I can't help it.
You can't help it.
Yeah,
Has
but-
there been a change of you moving from pads to like using maybe menstrual cups now, if either of you are doing
yeah,
that, or
I
you've
use
tried?
a cup.
Okay, and how's
It's amazing. Everyone cup.
Okay.
Like I thought considering, because I started at like a fairly younger age, so I was like, no way, this is fitting. Nothing is fitting inside.
Yeah.
Ever. Like first I was like, first I watched tampons because
Yeah.
I mean I started with tampons because in like shows everyone uses a tampon. Basically I was like, I don't want a pad, I don't want the hassle of it.
Yeah.
You know? So I started with tampons and they're terrible. It's like inserting some sandpaper
Even
into your
the
vagina.
news that just came out that they have lead inside them.
They
so
do?
Let's not.
Okay. I didn't need more of a reason.
Yeah.
It already felt like on sand, like grinding into me. So I had no chance. That was terrible.
Okay.
And then no lube also. So
It's not working.
Yeah, no chance. But then menstrual
try.
cups were, after I got the hang of it, yeah, like
Better
after the
to
first 1-2 times, brilliant. You can't tell it's there, great for the environment, just.
I heard
Okay.
you can't even feel anything.
Yeah, you forget. Like once I forgot it was there until I had a bath.
Okay.
So like for a
So that
good-
means it's super comfortable, like there's no
Yeah.
other issues around it. But then, like, as a doctor, or at least being in the medical field, what do you think is safer, or like what do you think around whether the price point that's there, and what should be the like recommended place for women to use around the world? Like, what's the best approach
For
to
which
this
product?
for like menstrual
This-
hygiene?
If it's based, it's largely based on your comfort.
Okay.
I think firstly, just economically, a lot of women can't even afford pads in India,
Yeah.
and they end up using cloth and stuff that's not very hygienic. And the government, everyone,
Yeah.
society as a whole should focus more on this to make sure there's better menstrual hygiene. But yeah, if you can afford it, of course. And menstrual cups actually they happen to be cheaper because it's a one-time spend.
Correct.
You don't have to keep
Right.
buying pads. But there's also this to sterilize it each time. You have to maintain it well.
It's work around
Yeah,
it.
it's work, and if you don't do it properly, you can get toxic shock syndrome. You can get infections down there and stuff. So that's obviously a lot of. And if you don't have access to clean water, ability to
There's going to be problems
store it
around
properly, yeah, there's going to be problems.
So,
around it.
considering what you're saying around like toxic shock syndrome, there's a lot of products that are being commercialized and bought into the market, whether it is something that's around reducing the stretch marks on your bum, or like, you know, the making your vagina a little bit lighter and things like that. And there's things that are intimate washes. A lot of these do have side effects, so they are not required. So what do you think about the stigma around this, and whether do you think that you particularly would use any of these in terms of societal insecurities, or how, like, just generally what's your opinions on this?
Oh, yeah, society has destroyed me. I have all the insecurities from that. This
Okay.
Butt stretch mark cream sounds like I would need.
Oh, see.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I'm okay. I'm like.
You
oh,
would need.
Yeah, I want. I want
Okay,
that
what do you-
whatever it
I
is.
would not need. I mean.
I love the
for me,
confidence.
For me, the whole thing is I love how my body looks like,
It's a great body.
and I don't really care about what society thinks. I think mainly when I was young, I used to care about it, but now I grew out of it, and I'm just like, I don't really need all of these products.
What made you grow out of it? Because there's still this being marketed a lot, so maybe like an insight of what got you to that stage is something that would be helpful.
I don't know, because I feel like I'm so comfortable with my body and comfortable with having hair around or like stretch marks. Those are the things that makes me me, and I don't think I would change that for anyone, even if it's going to be my husband or whoever. Yeah, I'm not gonna change it. Like if I have like facial hair on my face, it's just gonna be there.
It's
like,
yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna remove it, or like, yeah, sometimes I remove it and sometimes I just leave it because I don't care.
Yeah, like God has made you a certain way. Why, like?
But I think
Yeah.
all my facial hair removal is because of men.
Okay.
No, but
I
that's
think
true.
if there were no men on this planet, I would no chance I would be removing
Anything
hair
around
anywhere.
it,
If
yeah.
I'm sitting at home, if I'm even in college, 3 girls living in the house, exam season, no one is removing anything.
Anything.
A lot of people won't admit it. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it's for me. If you're sitting at home for a year and no one's looking at you, will you still do it for you?
Yeah.
You are not going to do it for you. During COVID, no one did anything for themselves
Fair
because they
enough.
were not seen. But I get it, and you don't want to also.
Yeah, but then do you, okay, so again, if I lean back to like the first season, the boys that had come in, they were like, yeah, sure, it's there, but if they like someone, they're not going to constantly call them out for the facial hair because it's very minimal. Have you been called out by boys about this, or have you been called out by your moms or your aunts or your teachers who've said things like this around you, that oh no, women should not have facial hair? Like, what has been?
All of them.
I think family.
Okay.
But
Boys.
boys have not.
Boys
For you, boys
before
have
they
not.
got an education.
Okay.
Before they got a good, before they interacted with more women,
Yeah.
they had no sense of, for my entire, I think until 18,
Yeah.
boys chatted shit. Like,
Okay, so
whatever they wanted
basically,
to say.
so whatever we've learned is by the family, the people that are around us, even the men, and as soon as they have
Men
more
large
interaction with the female audience is when they understand and realize what's going on.
Yeah, even then they don't do it because like they think it's wrong. I feel like the only reason they don't do it is because they don't want to
be
piss anyone
cancelled.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah, they don't want to get cancelled. Otherwise, I feel like because when they talk about other girls, a
Yeah.
lot of men they won't say it to their face, but then once the girl has gone away, it'd be like, oh, she had a mustache,
Yeah.
or she was like ugly, like this, that. But
Okay. And so all of these things start at a very young age. I mean, especially with social media and all the information that is being put out there, especially with Reels and TikTok becoming so famous with like constantly churning new and new content. There's been this diaspora, or at least this idea of Sephora babies, which if I have to explain, very, very young girls are going into Sephora, buying these like serums, buying moisturizers, sunscreens, makeup, and starting to apply them at an age that probably is not recommended, or at least we never did these things, even if it was available to us. So what do you think around this notion that's going on?
I don't know if it was available to us at that point. We didn't have Instagram, and we had like Facebook from when we were 12.
Yeah.
And there was no reels. We didn't know anything about anything at that point.
Okay.
Then it was like whatever products your mom had.
You would
like,
use.
Yeah.
But then
amazing.
what about what
For
it is
them.
now? Like how this
Now
has
I
been
think
changing?
It's just because of social media. Like the young girls are getting influenced by their
Yeah.
celebrities that they watch, and they see everyone doing their skin routine. They'll go on like Vogue skincare, and they're like, Vogue Beauty, and they'll check out everything, and like whatever, like their, I don't know, Korean beauty, like their K-pop singers and
Yeah.
everyone. Like I feel like the kids nowadays, they get so influenced, and they're like, oh, if she's gonna use it, I'm gonna use it too.
Yeah, for real. But that's me now.
Okay.
Yeah, but for
Yeah.
that age,
I
for that
understand
age-
them. No, they shouldn't.
They should. I mean, they should.
In an ideal world, no, bad.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
girl, I get you.
Yeah.
11-year-old girl.
So are you saying,
No,
are you
but it's-
telling me that if you were 12 today, you would go and use these products?
Yeah, if my friend was using it, me today, and if I were 12 at this age, my friend is using it, I want it. I'm
Okay.
gonna throw a tantrum till I get it.
Okay.
Maybe. I would
Yeah.
choose products that I know. Like, so if I there's this young girl who's like 12 years old, but she only used like Vaseline products on her face. Like, everything Vaseline, and Vaseline is nice, and it was been there for a long time. But then like you see other kids, they're using like I don't know, whatever from Sephora.
Victoria's
Them-
Secret.
Them chemicals
Ugh,
that they're using on their face, and I'm like, do you even know what it does?
Yeah.
to you? Like, you don't know, like Vaseline is a safer option.
Correct.
And I feel like they should push kids towards those type of
Vaseline. Okay.
products.
I mean,
Not
No.
chemically
so like not the harsh direct serums, like that is something that.
No, yeah, things like retinol. No kid needs retinol.
And you don't, like it's
no
something.
no kid needs anything. Go out, go into the sun.
And, yeah.
Go get a little ugly like I did when I was a kid, and then honestly stop it.
Fair, like obviously.
want your-
I mean, we feel so good about our glow ups, and they're just
Dirt.
there is no bad face for them. It's
Yeah, use
just
dirt on your face. Yeah, okay. Nasty.
And then it's not
Have your
your
face
fault,
peeling. I want you to look like what I did when I used to come back home.
okay. Like yeah, if you have kids, are you gonna like be okay with them using these things? That are
No,
really-
not like harsh products. I'll be like, use the Indian stuff that we have.
Huh.
Like, let me put what my mother
Mon-
used to put on my
organic.
face.
And keep the traditions alive and the natural elements
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
there.
yeah.
continue with that. Fair enough. Do you experience societal pressure? By whom? For what? And like, how do you usually deal with it?
I want you to answer this as a CEO, boss girl, co-founder of Rivona. I'm more
That's a
interested
big
in
question.
this. I have
Okay.
barely left the cocoon.
Put some more depth into it, madam, please.
Okay. I'll speak of my journey. Like in terms of societal pressure, to me, currently at this age, it is obviously one that I have this company Rivona and I really need to grow it. So the pressure is from the investor in the company
The
saying,
best company ever. My favorite.
be like, where are the sales? Like, how are we achieving
it.
these? And just kind of like getting the vision out there. Like, obviously,
Yeah.
there's the pressure of that. So you have that stress going on. The other thing is, I'm hitting 25 like next year. So all around me, everybody, like at least in school, there's a lot of people who are getting engaged. My mom knows a lot of people around my age who like getting engaged and married. And so all I can hear from her is, why don't you have a boyfriend? Like, what is going on? Like, why haven't you talked to boys? And then like up until university, all you've told me is focus on your studies and, don't meet someone, don't talk, like don't go on dates. Boys are bad. I wasn't even allowed to have boy best friends. And now it's like, oh, what happened? Why aren't you dating? So that's the other pressure.
Tell her to find someone.
Arey yaar,
Auntie finds someone. We're really
that's
trying.
a whole other area of
.com.
Make these societal pressures easier.
yeah. So then it's
Find her.
it's basically that biological clock is ticking and we need to like get into the race of that. So those are the societal pressures I have. The way I deal with it is, if I need mental peace, I'm going to go swim. I think that's one of my ways of just getting rid of like the thoughts in my head
Self-care.
and overthinking.
Simplified.
That's my self-care simplified. Yes. Going swimming. And otherwise, I think it's just about communicating, like, this is not working out for you or whatever is working out for you, and figuring out a goal and just being disciplined around it. That's the way forward for me in terms of self-care. So yeah, I mean, for you, what are the pressures?
Societal.
Are your moms also looking for boys for you? Like, what is it?
I have a matriarchal household.
Good
My
on
mom
you.
she will overcompensate in the opposite direction.
Oh, and
no
such.
boy, don't get married ever. Don't be alone.
Beta, live your life.
Yeah. She's like, if you don't no need to get married. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm never leaving your house. I don't want to go anywhere.
This is some only child stuff, man, but okay.
I love them. I don't want boys around my mom, my dad. Great, they're too much fun, and they don't put no pressure on me.
I mean, you're a doctor, so I mean, you're already peak child. What
You're
else you're
so
I
gonna
put so much
Yeah.
pressure on myself.
Yeah.
So they don't care too much. But there's a little bit of pressure here. No, they don't even.
But so where are you even getting pressure anywhere else in the world, like, or you're just chilling?
As a doctor, it's just constant. Like it's basically that.
I mean,
Competition.
considering obviously, like, what's going on right now in India, with the news that came about, from Kolkata about the doctor and everything that has been rallied, like, how do you feel about the safety or like around that? Like, do you feel societal pressure over there? And what are your parents feeling around that? Because you're their child and you will be going to these, hospitals that are not secured or taken care of in a proper way. So has there been a conversation around that up until now?
Yeah, of course, that's very scary. I was luckily in my undergrad college, there happened to be quite a bit of safety.
Okay.
I mean, there happened to be security, and it was quite all right. Our hours, intern hours were fine, but our residents were constantly in the hospital. They barely had, like, when they said the girl had to stay in the seminar room, some people were like in the shift, why is she staying in the seminar room? I've seen the residents, they don't have anywhere to stay, they're not going to sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
You have to find a place, and then you have to stay in different places. The bed sheets are, even if they're changed once a week, there's at least 10 people sleeping on
On
that.
it,
So
huh?
skincare, forget. We're talking about skincare, to leave it, that's
Yeah.
not happening. Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of, for women and there's a lot of sexism, which a lot of men won't agree to, won't admit that happens, but men don't notice these like nuances in what they're saying and what's happening. So besides, there's obviously, okay, rape, obviously wrong.
Yeah.
But then it starts with a lot of small things.
Things that build up to
Yeah,
things
and there's
like
certain
that.
branches where women aren't treated equally as equal as women in a lot of places. And I studied in Pune, and in Bombay it might be less, but definitely in smaller cities it's a lot more prevalent. So I can't speak for those, but the women and doctors they face a lot of discrimination.
Yeah, especially, I mean, do you face that with maybe the patients that come to you? Is there a certain disparity over there also in terms of them wanting male doctors, or the way or how male patients behave with you? Is there something like that over
Yeah,
there?
there's like a common joke where if a woman comes, you know, as a female doctor, you're just going to be assumed to be a nurse.
Oh,
Which
okay.
is obviously, nurses are
And it's still
better
there.
than doctors, honestly.
Okay.
Like, fine, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, you think that I'm that selfless and lovely, but no, like, they just assume it directly, and
And that's happened with you?
With me once, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but my friends, I feel like a lot more.
More, okay.
I only had to experience it, but it's just a common thing that all girls know, that you're not going to be assumed to be a doctor.
A doctor, you're going to be assumed to be a nurse.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Which is,
Yeah.
But it's like,
Yeah, that's okay. I
feel
mean,
insulted, but yeah.
so in my psychology class, there was one thing that I had learnt about, which had always stayed back with me, which was there are positive stereotypes. So and one of the examples that the professor gave me was, for women, the positive stereotype is that the girl is always caring and nurturing and sweet. And what do you think about that? Like, do you think this positive stereotype is still prevalent? Like, you know, the way you mentioned that they just assume you're a nurse because of what's been there. Do you agree to these positive stereotypes that are there, or like you're just like, I don't really care, or like, why are we in this assumption of that?
Yeah, for some things, honestly, it's as long as I know that it's coming as a joke or it's lighthearted and it's not like deeply embedded in this person's mindset, I'm okay with it. Or
Yeah.
if it's just something that's inconsequential, my like dad thinking I can't drive, so okay, whatever,
Yeah.
man. Like, oh sure. And just a lot of like tiny things that how you got to pick your battles to keep your sanity.
Correct.
And yeah, so and if it's like you think I'm gentle and caring, good luck to you, man.
Okay.
Honestly, good luck.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? Do you think
I think
you appreciate these?
yeah, I think in terms of like these tiny little things, it's a little. For example, I think when I'm working in this industry, being like, you know, a woman who's like running things or as such, sometimes it does come off as if I will raise my voice or say something, or like, you know, put my foot down about something. It might just come off as she's being and let's not,
Tantrums.
yeah, or like things like that, or they won't take you seriously if you're being nice, because that's just how you're supposed to be. But if it comes out from a male leader, it's more yeah, I should listen to him, he's saying the right thing, you know, even if he's screaming at me and saying it.
And it comes so naturally to men, actually.
Yeah, so I think that is like, you know, I don't like that positive stereotype about it, because that affects my work.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't care if you think I'm sweet and nice, and generally I might be that as a person.
Yeah, you are.
But to stereotype me that way in terms of a work field is annoying, because then that makes my life worse than what it should normally be. Like if
Yeah.
it's a man, you're not thinking twice about this, but as a woman, you're constantly thinking about everything you say, everything you do, because of the stereotypes that exist around
Yeah.
this. So
as long as there's no consequences to these stereotypes, like
yeah.
some kind of stupid stereotype, then whatever.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's I think that's the space of that, and this comes to me to the last bit that I wanted to talk about. Our moms, our aunts, they have, you know, constantly always done a lot of tiny little sacrifices over their life in the things that they do or the things that they say to keep a household maintained, or to keep their husbands or their fathers or such happy over time, and like, you know, just kind of be demure and like sweet, and just kind of continue with life as is. What for growing up, have you noticed things like this? Have you started like, you know, taking maybe a stance for them, or telling them that no, look, you can say something, or like, because that's just what they've been told and taught? Have there any been occurrences as such as things like that?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, Priya's scary.
Okay.
My mother is terrifying. There's been no, but yeah, of course. She's always said that she didn't. As much as no one was like, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. No one said that, but no one was also like, how for me, my parents are like, oh, study, do this, do that.
Yeah.
For her, they weren't like, no, you have to you have to work, you have to do this. There wasn't too much of encouragement as well, and it was just like, okay, for the son you have to go earn, you have to do this. Women just neutral.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously she had to go through that, but I think over the years I think she'd be the better woman to be on this podcast.
Okay.
Because she's the one who's taken the stances, man. She is God woman.
Okay, but I feel like I think there's certain spaces that, you know, at least for myself, there's some areas where I'll tell my mom, look, no, why are you taking this shit? Like, you know, just say something. It's okay. Like, no, that's your right to say something.
Yeah, for a lot of women, when it comes to other women also in the family.
Exactly, there's always something or the other.
You don't have to
be nice.
Doing. Yeah. Sometimes my mom will come and like, if guests are coming, she'll go and serve them. And we're all like, huh? I'm like, what are you doing, mom?
Yeah.
Okay, since when did this happen? And it's like, why is automatically you've assumed that role, but
correct.
Dad has assumed the role of, okay, maybe making a drink and chilling with them.
Yeah. I think
yeah.
one of the examples that at least I'm thinking of right now is before, like growing up, it was always like whenever guests came around, the men would sit first, eat, and then like, you know, the women would sit after, because they would help around. Even if they are guests, the women will go in the kitchen, help get the food out and everything. And then over time now I tell the guests that come, even the women, I'm just like, no, go sit and eat with them. Like, you know, I think that was my one step there.
And it's about how the men also have to not be just terrible. I've seen a lot of, like, I obviously can't name them as much as I would love to call them out, but yeah, so many men they're so controlling towards their wives, and I get in those situations, it's very easy to be like, no, stand up to them, no, do this. But a lot of women are not financially independent.
Correct.
So in societal pressures don't allow them to leave relationships. They feel like it's not an option also to get divorced.
So true.
And you can see, like, you should not be in that relationship.
Yeah.
Just luckily, I feel like our fathers are just, our mothers are the heads of the households.
Yeah,
But
I think also there's that space of when you're younger, at least you would think that no, this is completely wrong. They need to, like, you give that exact direct answer.
Black and white.
Get it, like, you know, get divorced. Like, why aren't they getting divorced or something like that? But now that you grow up, you see that no, that's not possible. Like, there's a lot of dependency, a lot of different things that's going on. So the smaller
it takes
battles.
A lot. You can't leave your children, leave your household,
so
go through get a lawyer with who, like.
Yeah. So the only places you can fight at those smaller battles instead of doing those big things, I guess. But yeah, okay. I think this got deep, but we're going to end this segment and move on to something lighter hearted. Since girls are known as skincare queens, we've brought up a segment where we'll play a small game about would you rather. Just test out your knowledge and what you like to do and what you like to prefer. So we'll just go one by one. You can either say it together or just whoever wants to say it, and we'll move forward accordingly. First one. Would you rather never use sunscreen again or never use moisturizer again?
Sunscreen, I think.
Sunscreen?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because I barely use sunscreen, let me tell you that.
Yeah.
I use moisturizer more than sunscreen.
Yeah.
Your problem probably is you have more dry skin.
Yeah,
this is why you prefer moisturizer more than like sunscreen.
No, moisturizer's out. We live in Bombay. Life is moisturizer.
No, but trust me,
Existing is moisturizer.
In my skincare, I have sunscreen, but I barely use it.
Okay.
No. I leave the house. I'm moisturized. It's called sweat.
Okay.
I sunscreen. Bombay sunscreen.
Okay,
easy.
fine. Number 2, would you rather have clear skin but never be able to wear makeup again, or wear makeup freely but always have to deal with breakouts?
Oh shit.
No, like
Oh my God.
have clear skin and not wear makeup.
Okay.
Oh, but
Makeup's fun.
It would be like natural beauty. Like I am not doing like anything like.
But then
makeup
all
to
those-
make myself look confident.
All those crazy eyeliners you do, you won't do it.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
care. I'll
okay.
sacrifice on it. But clear skin, I'd rather have that.
Okay, fair.
but the clear skin won't give me cheekbones.
Okay.
I need a bold.
Botox.
I need Botox. What?
It's just a Botox.
Yeah.
Okay.
Botox and clear skin, plastic surgery.
Okay.
Oh, you got influenced. Oh.
For sure.
Okay. Would you rather give up exfoliating forever or never use face masks again?
Yeah, I don't do either, honestly.
Okay.
I used your exfoliating scrub yesterday and it was great.
For your entire body.
Yeah,
that too.
yeah. And Rivona's lip scrub, favorite, love. Yeah.
So never use face masks, basically.
Yeah, yeah, whatever. Out
Okay.
here.
Would you rather only use all natural ingredients on your skin but have a very limited selection, or use a wide variety of products with synthetic ingredients? Natural, small, less products. Synthetic, a lot of products.
I think that Rivona is my favorite natural ingredient brand. But besides Rivona, I think I'm a big synthetic gal.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Nature can exist in the forest.
Okay.
On my face. I want some retinol. I don't need no.
Okay.
No, I need to use both. I
Besides Rivona, because I think I've incorporated a lot of the synthetic products from natural ingredients into the products. So I like that.
So you just want chemicals, but you want them naturally sourced.
Yeah, yeah. No, I want the chemical at the end of it. I don't want some plant and all. I want take out the retinol, this, that, take it out and then give it.
Okay, great. Would you rather have perfect skin during the day but have to deal with major breakouts at night, or have clear skin only at night?
What?
But why
Obviously
is this
during.
a question? Like,
Ooh, yeah.
why would I not want to
For
have
real.
clear skin?
During the day, obviously. What do I do at night with clear skin? Who's looking at me at night? My mom, my dad love me no matter what, I think.
Okay.
Your future husband?
He'll better love me no matter what, I think. So,
Okay. Would you rather have a 10-step skincare routine every morning, or never be able to clean your face again?
10 steps.
10 steps.
I was like, yeah, 10 steps.
10
Easy.
steps.
I already have 16.
Okay.
So might as well make it 10.
Okay, might as well. Would you rather have to wear a sheet mask every day, or never be able to use a serum again?
Sheet mask. I need my serums.
Okay.
I need my retinol. Vitamin C, Rivona Natural. My favorite serum ever.
Okay. Would you rather have glowing skin but never be able to wear SPF, or always wear SPF but have dull skin?
I
The
use
first one.
The first one, glowing skin, no
Yeah,
SPF.
I use the SPF to have glowing skin. So
Okay.
I have it already by now.
Then no, yeah, fair enough, makes
I
sense.
want that good skin.
Makes sense. But also cancer, but makes sense.
And where we have melanin, dude. Where
Huh.
I mean, we can. I'm not saying
Eventually
you
you're
won't,
gonna
but
die one day, right?
Okay.
I glow with natural skin.
Okay.
you know, for
Just be
real.
like
Yeah, you can imagine
deathbed.
Damn, this girl's skin is glowing. I'm like,
in the grave.
in the graveyard.
What is it? Go.
Okay. Would you rather only be able to use high-end skincare products, or only drugstore products for your life?
High end.
High end.
What kind of question is that?
Okay.
High end.
High-end.
I mean,
Have
if
the
you go to
money
Europe,
spend high end.
you go to Europe, their drugstore is only high end.
High end,
So
yeah,
I'll
fair.
take some.
Just high-end,
high
okay.
end.
Would you rather never use any skincare tools like jade rollers, gua sha, etc., or never use any skincare with fragrance?
Never
These
use
are my
skincare
skincare
with
tools.
fragrance.
So your fingers. So
Yeah,
doesn't
but anyway,
matter.
I don't want either.
Okay.
I don't want fragrance.
Fragrance we don't want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Last one. Would you rather never have periods, or just rather never have periods?
Okay. Deal.
Deal.
Let's go. Ravona Naturals.
Okay, I'm done with this quiz. Thank you so much
Yay.
for coming here
Oh, who won?
and meeting me on a regular
I
basis.
obviously won. Clearly.
Hammer
Xenia,
goes
that's
to
not.
drum rolls.
Dr. Park.
Yeah. Biggest fan of Ravona Naturals. It's
That's why I
conceptual.
got you a few products. I'll give both
Thank
in
you.
the memory.